Now, for the longest time, the Indian auction market has been dominated by fine artworks. Contemporary art in India has fetched record prices at various auctions conducted during the last decade.
This is very true. We already have Christie's in India, and last week we've seen international auction house Sotheby's set up offices in Mumbai. So that level of commitment that has gone into building the Indian art market, that has been quite commendable already. But what's interesting now is how even non-art collectibles are gaining prominence in auctions, both in India and globally as well. So from fine jewelry to vintage furniture, photographs, coins, all of it. We're seeing a lot more than just great art.
But what's the potential there? And what's the road looking like for both local and international auction houses? Here's taking a closer look.
From sculptures, paintings, photography and installations, art in India has truly evolved over the years and across all platforms. The Indian art market has grown substantially, achieving its peak in 2007 with a market size of 2,000 crore rupees. And today, the market is estimated to be worth anywhere between 1,000 to 1,200 crores. And what's backing it up are these auction houses that are scaling up their presence in India. In 2013, international auction house Christie's set up offices in Mumbai, and last week Sotheby's plunged into the country.
Well, India currently has a very vibrant art scene with lots of new galleries, exhibitions, collectors, art fairs. We are very enthusiastic and excited to be part of this new movement.
What we see is there's a whole tier of collectors here who, for whatever reason, can't bid in New York or London, or can't come to preview works in New York and London, and who have really been encouraging us and saying, why aren't you offering these works at home?
But if our art has evolved so much, so did the market for collectibles like these: fine jewelry, coins, vintage decor and furniture. There's a new class of affluent collectors who are moving beyond just fine art.
In India itself, I think it's a very new area, new field, which has got a lot of potential, because I feel there are enough people who collect art who would like to collect other things and do collect other things.
We are seeing them acquire taste beyond just Indian art, where I recently handled a query by an Indian client who was interested in a Lamborghini that we were selling in Monterey in a car auction. We have people who are interested in impressionist art and watches and jewelry.
Not surprisingly, non-art collectibles go a long way in Indian history.
Indians have been collectors all their lives, and I think starting from the early days where Maharajas were patrons and collected things like jewelry, like antiques, like art, I think we're coming full circle today. We are seeing the new Indian with information and access, collecting all various sorts of things.
According to industry sources, among the many verticals in non-art collectibles, furniture and decor seem to hold the maximum promise. For instance, this 17th century cabinet, found at a pizza parlor in Yorkshire, was snapped up by Sotheby's and sold for close to a whopping 180 crore rupees.
I mean, Art Deco furniture is an example. I think it's one thing that people want to collect all the time. I think every auction that we've had of Art Deco furniture has done exceptionally well.
Indian collectors are becoming more active in our sales, that they're taking more interest in different categories, in contemporary art, in impressionist art, in old master paintings, jewelry, vintage cars. There are all sorts of categories in which they collect.
Well, just like art, collectibles do not have a measurable value, and this is when an expert insight might come in handy.
Well, for one, I think there has to be enough research, there has to be enough education that happens first, and the education is the first step towards actually making a market. People have to learn about it, understand it, and then buy it. So I don't think the purchase is the first step, but I think it's a process that people have to follow as the market develops.
Perhaps with international auction houses now setting up shop in India, investing in collectibles will take prominence.
We're going to bring previews of works that have never been seen in India to India, but I think where we're going to try and be unique is really try and bring the Indian client access to our global sales rooms, where the best of luxury is offered.
The more credible players you have, the stronger the industry gets. The value, I think, in general is for the industry. The industry grows when the players are strong. So, I mean, it's a very good thing that we have international auction houses coming to India. And competition raises the bar, which is always very good.
So how are international art auction houses positioning themselves in India? We check with Sotheby's in Mumbai as they announce the opening of their new office with a preview of the forthcoming auctions of modern and contemporary South Asian art. Robin Woodhead, Chairman of Sotheby's International, gives us a sense of what's in store.
Robin, such a pleasure to meet you again.
Thank you.
The last time we were chatting, it was in Delhi. And that was the time of the Amaya collection, I remember. And you were telling me about how tantalizing the Indian market is looking from the art perspective. Now you're making it all very real because now you're setting up shop, as it were, in Mumbai. Tell us about the genesis of the idea of doing this, because obviously your competitors have an edge on that front. Christie's is already here. Tell us where this idea came to you and how you decided to go about it.
Well, we've been active in India for over 30 years now, and a lot of our work has been with Indians who trade in our markets outside India, and so we have a lot of Indian clients trading in London, New York and elsewhere. In the last 5 years, we've had over $600 million worth of Indian participation in our global sales. So that's a substantial amount of value that creates great interest for us. We've also seen 40% year-on-year growth in the last 5 years from Indian clients. So the underlying economics are very compelling indeed.
It seems like what you're trying to do is cultivate the market. Am I right in saying that?
You're absolutely right. We're standing in front of an exhibition that is going to be of a sale that we're holding in October in London, when we have a whole week of Indian cultural activities. We're also backing up this exhibition with a series of lectures. So what we find, and it's true not just of India, but of any country, that as wealth grows, so too does interest in the art world. India has a great advantage that it has incredible cultural heritage. And collecting, after all, is not just about investing. Collecting is about passion, is about interest. And you see that in all the people who've collected over the years in India, in for example, Indian miniatures. Not everybody bought Indian miniatures because they thought it was increasing value. They bought them because they loved them.
Right.
Now, clearly, they do have value, and as like all art today, and like any asset today, it has an attributable value. And because of that, now there is a different level of interest in our market.
Going ahead from here, to be able to structure your approach into India, what exactly will need to be done? Because you're talking about basics over here, like I said. So what's the strategy that's going to work? Because, like you said, not necessarily is this about art, it's about collectibles as a space. And beyond art, there are watches to talk about, there's jewelry to talk about, a lot of which Indians have saved for a long time. So is that where the market really is? Is that something that you're considering to bring out first before you're actually selling the kind of art that we're talking about?
Well, I think that if we take the pattern of art development anywhere else in the world, we offer the whole range of what we might call collectibles, which includes art, includes watches, it includes furniture, decorative objects, and these, and of course jewelry.
Right.
We are already major activists in these fields in other parts of the world. We already have many Indian clients as watch collectors, as jewelry collectors, and so what we will be doing is basing our activities on that known experience for us,
right,
and for our clients. What will be different will be that we will be bringing much more of that expertise to Delhi and Mumbai and the cities in India.
I'm just trying to understand the difference that setting up an office in Mumbai is going to make as opposed to not having a setup. You've survived this long, you're very happy with the kind of work that's already happened. I'm just wondering, how different is this going to be? What is it going to facilitate?
Well, I think what will be very different is that actually having an office here means we have a permanent post. And that means we will be sending increasing number of experts into the country to meet with collectors. There'll be increasing number of educational programs coming in, increasing numbers of these traveling exhibitions. I mean, what it is, it's not so much the office itself, is the signifier of our commitment to this country.
We wish you great luck, Robin. Thanks indeed for talking to us.
It's a pleasure.